Get ready for an extraordinary journey into the world of music, culture, and innovation in the heart of Silicon Valley. Join us as we delve into the remarkable story of the Beethoven Center at San Jose State University, where classical brilliance meets the cutting edge. Discover the rich tapestry of Beethoven's world, from rare first edition scores to historic keyboards instruments. The Beethoven Center is more than just a repository of history. It's a living, breathing hub of music education and culture. From music performances to educational initiatives, they are bringing Beethoven into a new generation. Piano and Library, where timeless notes and knowledge harmonize. Hello everyone, welcome back to Piano and Series by AVA Learn. In this episode, we are talking about Piano and Library. So it's part of our Piano and Culture series. Today I'm very honored to have Dr. Erica Berman as my featured guest. And we will talk about how collection, why there's a Beethoven Center in the middle of San Jose, in San Jose University. So welcome, Dr. Erica.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
So during this conversation, I want to be more like a conversation instead of like question answer. So I might jump to some story of mine, or I want to know story of yours. Yeah. So my first question, well, comes the question again, is why San Jose?
Yeah, that's actually a great question, and lots of people ask that. And the answer is there isn't really a reason. Well, there is a reason, but it's kind of a coincidence. So I work at the Ira F. Brilliant Center for Beethoven Studies at San Jose State University. And Ira F. Brilliant was a Beethoven lover who he had his own amazing collection of Beethoven things. It was mostly first edition scores. And he lived in Arizona, but he wanted his collection to go to a public university. And the local university didn't want it in Arizona. So he had a connection with the then dean of the humanities and arts at San Jose State.
Mm-hmm.
And she was very enthusiastic. This was in 1983. So the agreement was made, and that collection came to San Jose State. And in the next, 40 years, the collection has grown. So now it's got its own premises, and it's a museum, and it has historic keyboard instruments and a full research library. So that's how it came to be. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was wondering, we don't have any historical, heavy musical influence in San Jose area. Like most of every time you brought out San Jose to people, it's like, oh, startups, oh, like technical companies like Google, like Apple, and all that. And I was like, suddenly Beethoven Center is here. I was like, wait, what? Yeah.
It's true. It's interesting, but it's amazing how many people love Beethoven in all kinds of places. So we have a partner organization called the American Beethoven Society, and people subscribe to be members of that. And we have members all over America, but also all over the world. People in Mexico, people in Europe, people in Australia, who are just excited to be part of something that's about Beethoven. He's one of these composers that just attracts real enthusiasm. So in a way, a center like this could be anywhere in the world, because it's kind of an international network anyway. So
I'm so happy that we have that here in San Jose. Yeah. Yeah, just another fun fact. Even though we are an online piano academy, we are also like a company. It's like more like education and tech, and we are also based in San Jose.
Yeah.
And I just moved to San Jose in the beginning of this year. I was in the East Coast. I was in Pennsylvania, New York, and Ohio State before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Bay Area.
Yeah. I still Beethoven Center is on my list. I haven't visited yet. Yeah, it was
it's great for Beethoven lovers, but it's especially great for pianists because we have a collection of historic instruments, including an original forte piano from 1823 by an English maker, Broadwood, and Beethoven had a piano by the same maker. and that was the piano that he was using when he wrote a lot of his late piano music. So this is, if you really want to kind of get inside Beethoven's world, to hear the piano music as it would have sounded in the 1820s,
Mhm.
and feel what that feels like under the fingers, that's an amazing opportunity that you can do at the Beethoven Center.
So you said we have a chance to listen to it. So we will have like a regular concert series
So
in.
if you come into the Beethoven Center, there is always someone there who can demonstrate the instruments for you. We have a volunteer who comes in on a Wednesday afternoon, especially to play them, and he's got some things that he likes to demonstrate on the different keyboards. You can also play them. We try to keep our original instruments safe, so we don't usually yet let everyone play them. But we've got a couple of replicas. So we have a replica fortepiano,
Mhm.
um, which is a replica of an instrument from 1795. So that doesn't have foot pedals yet, and
They
it's
have it like on underneath.
yeah, knee
Yeah.
levers. Yeah, so you can try that, and that's the kind of instrument that Mozart would have used,
Yes.
and that was kind of new when Haydn was writing his late piano music. So, yeah, it's great. I mean, it's such a great opportunity to come
That
and
sounds
hear
very interesting because my secondary instrument was fortepiano.
that. Really?
In my undergrad, so I was in Oberlin Conservatory of Music,
Yeah.
and then we have pretty emphasize on the historical performance too. So we have fortepiano. You can choose as a minor instrument, but I didn't because there's too many things. Yeah, so fortepiano, harpsichord, clavichord, organ, right? And then we also have a class called time travel. So
Wow.
we actually have a professor at his home. He has three pianos. One is a modern, and then the other one is the fortepiano around like Chopin and Liszt period, and then another one is like a Mozart, Beethoven, early Beethoven. Yeah, and then that was amazing. Like you can try different pianos,
It's
and then
amazing, isn't it? Because we all sort of modern pianists think that we know what a piano sounds like. Because a modern piano, most pianos sound okay, they're different a little, but they're mostly pretty even and pretty much the same.
yeah,
But you hear these early keyboards and they're completely different from each other.
yes,
And being able to hear them next to each other. So we have that too. That's an amazing thing, is that we have a harpsichord, we have a clavichord, and we have a modern Steinway. And they're all in the same room. So you can kind of jump
oh,
and experience how different they feel, and how it's easier to play a certain kind of music on a forte piano.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I feel as well. And there's a special technique we also need to like change our approach on the keys. It's more like a technique part now. I don't want to be too too
yeah.
nerdy.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
instruments, they make you play differently. They sort of
Mhm.
invite a different kind of playing, and that's something that you can take with you back to a modern piano. It just kind of helps you understand the music that was written for that piano in a really different way.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that insight. And then hopefully, if I have chance to play it
Of
when
course.
I'm is there, yeah. So we do have like I understand we do have concert series there, and then also actually on your website I saw you are also one of a performer coming
That's
soon.
right. Yeah. I'm mainly a violinist. I also play piano,
Mhm.
but I play a lot of chamber music, and that's something that we're doing on a regular basis in the center, is presenting works of chamber music in free concerts. So once a month we have a free concert here,
Mm.
and it's all chamber music that's kind of Beethoven or Beethoven related, and people can come and listen to a short lecture about what they're about to hear, and then listen to some really nice music in the center, and get to know the collection a little bit, and maybe have a go on the pianos. So it's a really nice thing we're doing.
Well, sounds great. I was like, this is meant to be together because I love chamber music, and the original thought of doing piano and this series is actually for chamber music.
Wow.
Piano and four hands, piano
Yeah.
and cello, piano and violin. Yeah, and then that was the previous projects like in Q1 and Q2 this year, and I had piano and four hands, and then we talk about the chamber techniques when you play with another pianist, and also we have chamber techniques when you play with cellist. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I personally love chamber music a lot because since I was little, I was as early as like 12, and then I started having my like chamber group, and then of course, we practice, we rehearse, and then we went to the competitions, we win prizes, and then until the end of high school, like that was like an entire chamber journey, like early chamber journey of mine. Yeah, and I really enjoy like when we celebrate music together with others. Is is such a precious thing. It's so much better than playing by myself,
I completely
alone,
Yeah, I
alone.
know it can get lonely. It can
Yeah.
get a lonely business playing piano, but yeah, chamber music, I agree. It's just one of the nicer things to do with other people. You know, you're making music
Mm.
together. It's a thing that you're doing, and it's small enough that you're all really experiencing the moment together, and you're making beautiful music. I mean, what could be better?
Yeah. So I also see like we have the competitions and
Yeah,
and conferences and all of that. I was like, wait, what? And festivals as well. Well, are how do you think about how to say that? Like, how do you manage all of that, or how did you and your team manage all of that? And
yeah,
what did you learn or anything like inspiring from these events?
yeah. I mean, gosh, they're all so inspiring. I've been here for 4.5 years now. I came from the UK. I'm not sure if you can hear my accent, but I'm actually from Scotland originally. But I moved here for this job 4.5 years ago, and I stepped into a lot that's been set up over 30 years. So there's a piano competition, which is now in its 38th year,
Mhm.
and it's for
Wow.
high school pianists from across California, and they perform a complete Beethoven piano sonata. And they come here and they do that in a final round. And I'm always so inspired at the level. I mean, these kids are amazing. You know, just to hear such mature playing from young people is great, and it's a great experience for them. We've had masterclass guest artists of we've had wonderful players like Angela Hewitt and Paul Lewis have been 2 years ago, we had Ronald Brautigam, the forte pianist. And what I've started to do now is actually bring the kids to the forte pianos and actually give them some instruction there. So we have a master class lined up with Eric Zivian, who's a forte pianist, coming up in March. So that's a great opportunity for the students, and also it's just great for audiences to hear such amazing talent. Um,
Wow.
and Beethoven is such an important composer for pianists. You know, anyone who learns the piano is going to be playing some Beethoven at some point,
Yes.
whether it's for just for release or whether it's
Yes.
the clavier sonata. But there's a lot for pianists. I think Beethoven is kind of like the meat and potatoes of piano playing.
He also like put a lot of other like orchestral elements or even like string quartet elements into his piano work. Is also one of the thing like a really I'm always amazed by that. I was like, how did you? This sounds so delicate and sounds so fresh. Like, well, right now we treat it as like classical music because it's like in the past. But I'm sure during that time, like everyone is like, this is new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and actually, I think one of the best ways of understanding that is to really hear how the pianos change. Because you mentioned that Beethoven's piano music often sounds like it's orchestral, and you can hear that in the pianos. I mean, if you go from a harpsichord to one of these forte pianos from the 1820s, it's like a completely different sound world.
Yeah.
Beethoven is one of these people that gets excited and likes to experiment.
Yeah.
And so his music is just so fresh. And if you can think about it in that way, I think you can really start to listen to Beethoven in a new way. And it's wonderful music.
Yeah. Well, here goes the credits will goes to Cristofori. Thank you for inventing that. Yeah. Yeah. So we have like all of this like they are all like support each other out there. In my opinion, like you need to have the technology getting more and more advanced, and then you also influence the composers and of course different area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. My I keep talking about the past because right now I'm working here, and then but the most intense time I play Beethoven music was when I was in undergrad. My teacher, Mr. Peter Takash, he recorded the entire 32 sonatas of piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can think about like maybe invite him to to I don't know. Yeah, yeah. So Like I actually learned a lot from him, and then about like piano, bit of his life, like how his life events influenced to his compositions and all of that. I'm curious about the festivals. I know you maybe I don't know how long will it be, like how often it happens. Is that happening in the future? Because I see some in the past, and then I'm just curious, what did you guys do?
Yeah, there are some things that we do as a one-off. So, for instance, in February this year, we had a 3-day symposium all about chamber music, actually. And we
Mhm.
had the Takash String Quartet come, and they
Oh,
gave, yeah, they're incredible. So they gave a recital, and it was just amazing. And then they also did a lecture recital, and so this was 3 days, an opportunity for people to really dig deep and think about chamber music. So there were lectures and there were lecture recitals, and that all took place here and in the San Jose State Concert Hall. And that's something that we can do as a center, is bring people together to really think about music in a different way. So
mhm.
that was a one-off thing. Actually, that was supposed to happen in 2020, but as you can imagine, everything we planned that year was canceled.
Well,
So it was a
before
reschedule.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's sort of a variety of things that we always do, like the piano competition, and this concert series is new, but it's something that I want to continue. So one free concert per month during the university calendar,
Mm.
and then there are things that we will organize every few years, or if something comes up, like this opportunity to do a chamber music symposium, we will work on doing that. So there's always something going on.
Oh, that's also amazing. Yeah, I think there's always something going on. I'm just curious, have you thought about like if we in the future, since we are in the digital age now, right? And then and then this kind of like I don't know. I see Beethoven Center can be like a bridge connect for our visitors connect from the past and now. And do you see any like how that will the role of the Beethoven Center can evolve like going on, like especially I don't know. Have you thought about um or have the Beethoven Center itself thought about like making more like how's that like friendly to like a modern generation of
Yeah,
the
I mean,
audience?
I think that's absolutely the most important thing that anyone involved in classical music has to do, is we have to nurture the next generation of audiences and performers of this music, and lovers of this music. It's something that we have to work hard to do, because not everyone has it in their life, you know. So you kind of have, we need to help people have access to classical music.
Hmm.
And so that's one of the missions I think we have, and something that I'm trying to do with these free concerts. We are in a public library, which is really nice, because public libraries are really a social space. They're for everyone, you know. So
Hmm.
everyone in downtown San Jose wanders in and out of this library. So I try as much as I can to use that to just bring people in, and in a friendly way. So if you come to our concerts, there's always a coffee reception afterwards. You can stay and have some cookies
Hmm.
and coffee and chat to the musicians. So I think that's really important. And also, we all experienced the pandemic a few years ago, where suddenly everyone had to rethink how you connect with people.
Hmm.
And I had never really done much online stuff, but during the pandemic, everyone was so itching for contact that we
Yeah.
did some things on Zoom. You know, I interviewed some people about their Beethoven research, kind of similar to what you're doing, I suppose, with your podcasts. And I was just amazed at how well people responded to that. And that's something that I needed a bit of help to try. You know, what I needed was a pandemic where there's nothing else to do apart from that.
Hmm.
But that was really inspiring. And I think there's a lot more to be done that connects people online, because
Yeah.
so much happens online. So I think what you're doing is great with these podcasts, so please keep doing it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I always it was challenging at first for me because like suddenly like I teach online as well, and then I see my coworkers online. Like this is literally full remote, and we do see each other like sometimes in the summer when they come over to the like we have like one physical location, but still like everything happens online and it happens so quick as well. The pace is like just keep like changing all the time. Yeah,
Well,
so I also found it is like challenging to me and to others, but we well I like challenge, I like challenging stuff, so yeah, it's such an adventure for me. Yeah,
yeah,
so thank you for supporting me today. And then, yep, we're about to close our conversation. Before we close, thank you all for listening to our podcast, or the audience who is watching this video. Thank you for watching. And then if you are interested in other videos we produced on by AVA Learn, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Bye. And thank you, Dr. Erica, for your time.
having me.
Yeah. All right.